Well, Cliff Pelling just 5 points behind Ryan Steele in the championship. They are racing in separate classes, as you heard. Kerry Lewis is running second at the moment in Class T2. That's already been wrapped up by Chris Whiteman in the Honda Civic Type R. There's Cliff Pelling in the 61. Has qualified very well at the field. 55 right behind him with blue and white car. That's Chris Whiteman, who's the champion in T2. T3 already wrapped up by Ryan Steele. Mikey Day is second in class from Steve Everson and Robert Taylor. And we're in car with Robert Farndon, the T2 VW Golf GTI. Absolutely foul conditions here. But, as ever, the Cannons Tin Tops will put on some great racing for us. From the front row of the grid, Chris Bassett and Tom Bridger. Tom Bridger, the leader of T1 and third in the championship in the Rover 220 Coupe. And look how bad conditions are, but it's Chris Bassett that leads. Barney Davies in second, then Rod Burley, Cliff Pelling on the inside of Tom Bridger. There's Chris Whiteman, Kerry Lewis in 18, comes from Ely. So this is essentially a championship for drivers in, not necessarily for drivers in the southeast, but the rounds are based in the southeast of England. And anyone is welcome to come along. And Kerry Lewis, one of the further travelling drivers, say, coming from Ely. The races for the championship, if you've watched us before, you'll know that they're based here at Brands Hatch and also at Linden Hill. The orange Fiesta ST there of Gareth Broadbent, the Aldershot driver. Daniel Adams in the Proton Satria is running second in the production class, and he's dicing with Cliff Pelling for the championship at the moment. There's a gap of some 30 points between the two. I think we've covered all of the class leaders championship-wise coming into this penultimate race of the season. What a challenge that these drivers had. You might remember the last time we saw these guys, they were on the Grand Prix circuit here at Brands Hatch. So not only to get to race on the Indy, they race on the Grand Prix circuit as well. And they were mixed up with the Motorsport News saloons that we'll see later. There's Mikey Day in 79, second in T3 in terms of the championship standings. And doing a very good job at the moment in this race. You can see the VW Golf there as well of Robert Farndon, comes from Billericay. So Robert Bridger goes through at the head of this gaggle. Daniel Adams, Robert Farndon, and then Dave Hutchins, Crowborough-based driver in the Honda Civic Type R. And the thing you'll notice about this championship is the variety of cars. It is an absolutely mixed field. None of you one-make championships here. In car with Robert Farndon. Look at the visibility, so difficult. A great shot from Robert along the main straight. He's going to try and make up a place. Meanwhile, we go back to the leads. Chris Bassett out front at the moment. Chris Bassett from Barney Davies. We used to see in that Toyota Starlet doing some terrific results. Rod Burley in the 44. He raced on the Grand Prix circuit in the race that they shared with the Motorsport News drivers. In the Motorsport News, problem there for Barney Davies, who collects it up. And I was going to say, watch out for Rod Burley, who'll capitalise on that mistake. And Rod closed in, but Barney Davies has recovered well from that spin, retains second position as Chris Bassett goes through. Now Chris Bassett has got a problem, his transponder's not working, and that will cause a problem for the timekeepers. It might cause a problem results-wise for the man who leads the race at the moment. We can see he's leading, but it is a requirement that you have a working transponder on the car. Tyler Lidsey in the Renault Clio 197 going through. Used to be the Clios that raced with the British Touring Car Championship. They have their own series now, that particular model. But, of course, you can come and race them here in the Cannons Tin Top Championship as well, which is what many drivers elect to do. It's a serious championship. A lot of drivers just come out for fun, but it's very, very competitive indeed. Robert Bridger coming under a little bit of pressure there, but back now to what is a very good battle for the lead. And Barney Davies, well, that slide that we saw down here a lap or so ago, very clearly indicative that he is all over, or trying to catch up as hard as he can with Chris Bassett, who's still out front. Bassett running in Class T2, Barney Davies in T1, and goes through. Davies side by side with Bassett, still side by side. Clean, fair racing between the pair of them. And Davies is trying to work the outside line as they come through into clearways. Bassett holds the inside, Again, this is extremely good, clean, fair racing from these two. Now we'll see what Davies can do. He'll turn up the wick, and now, yes, the power of the T1 Starlet goes through, the turbocharged Starlet goes through into the lead, pulls away Chris Bassett down to second, and Barney Davies, I think, maybe heading for another win here. We've still got Rob Burley back in third place. Goodness me, what a race this is turning out to be. Championship-wise, I can tell you that Mikey Day is leading T3. By my maths, that means that Cliff Pellin will still have a chance going into the last race of the year for the overall championship. So we've still got issues to be settled here. This is exactly what the race fans want. They didn't want the bad weather, but whatever the weather, they get some terrific racing for sure, as we watch Dave Hutchins go through again, that 2-litre Honda Civic Type R. That Barney Davies out front. There is Chris Bassett in 33, local driver from New Ash Green, entered by Fusion Media, and Rob Burley chasing him hard as well. Burley in the Bevan prepared Honda Integra, hasn't raced all season in that one, so largely an unfamiliar car. I don't think he's raced in the wet in that car either this year. There's Robert Taylor, Hailsham based driver, in the 41, and he's a front runner, as we mentioned, in Class T3. But Barney Davies is going to, by the look of it, take another win. He's clear at the moment, although having said that, Chris Bassett's not a spent force. Davies is winning overall, and indeed Class T1. Class T2, headed by Chris Bassett from Rob Burley. Then we've got Cliff Pellin, who's winning the production class and keeping his championship alive. Cliff in the 61 Fiesta ST, a little way back as Chris Bassett is closing in now. Back marker traffic there. Steve Everson in the KEM Services Citroen Saxo holding the inside line. Barney Davies, well, wasn't really blocked there, but didn't take the right line, and Chris Bassett goes through. Now we know that Barney Davies is quick on this part of the track. They're coming down towards the checkered flag, and it's Bassett in the lead. But here comes Davies in a grandstand finish. Davies takes it. Chris Bassett in second place. Rob Burley takes third, but we're getting a notification on the timing screen. It was Chris Whiteman coming through behind them, behind Cliff Pellin, that sadly Chris Bassett, due to that problem with the transponder, has been taken out of the result. He gets second on the road, but his second is inherited by Rob Burley. And the class win, Cliff Pellin wins the production class in third place. Here's confirmation of that result. Davies from Burley and Pellin. Chris Whiteman is next from Daniel Adams, and then Kerry Lewis, Tyler Lindsay, Gareth Broadbent ahead of David Hutchins, and T3 winner Mikey Day in 10th. 11th goes to Ryan Steele, still leading the championship. Then it's Tom Bridger, Robert Farndon and Andy Baker in 14th.